Now, this place is absolutely gorgeous.
One of the best views in all of Sydney. Hello everybody. This video is going to be a very special one. I'm right now going for a ride to two of my favorite spots in Sydney. One of them is a secret, only the locals really know it, and it's probably one of the most beautiful locations to go view the harbour in Sydney. The second spot is a bit more of a historical landmark. It used to be a very good strategic point for the war, and now it's been converted into an army base. There's a trail around it that you can walk and look at basically the edge of Australia. So I'll come take you guys for a ride with me. These are very unique views, some of my favorite places that I used to go to as a teenager and even up until now as well.
I found this completely at random. I was just kind of like going through the map while I was really bored at work, and I found this little pocket just tucked away on the coast. And I made a mental note. I wanted to go there and check it out. And lo and behold, it was a really cool spot. I've been there so many times. It's just one of the best views in Sydney, hands down. Like, there are a lot of really good views of the harbour, but this one in particular is just beautiful. So I'm very excited to show you guys this. Right now we're chasing the sun because it's sunset in about an hour and a half. Perks about bike life here, we're gonna skip most of this traffic and lane filter as best as we can. I love motorbikes. Oh my god. Especially going around in the city as well, you can just weave through traffic. Things that usually take you, 20 minutes, sometimes takes you like 10 to 15 minutes to get to where you need to go. Oh, it's so sick. We got another bikie up here as well. This place is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, listen, I'm just gonna be saying gorgeous a lot because honestly, the Sydney Harbour is just one for one. I've been to 19 countries and there are a lot of good perks of a lot of countries, but there is nothing in this world that beats the Sydney Harbour. It's absolutely beautiful. So that's a wharf over there. I used to go there a lot as a kid. My dad used to own a boat and we used to dock over there. Look at this view. Look at that. That is gorgeous.
One of the best views in all of Sydney. Honestly, this place is insane. These houses here are worth easily over $10 million. I actually met the owner of this house over here. It's a massive corner property and he's like a real estate dude. He owns like 15 or 16 houses, retired at like 50. And he was telling me that he picked up his house for like $1 million, not even, and now it's gone up in value 5 times, which is just absolutely mind-blowing that even that house cost that much to begin with. But he wakes up to this view every single day. This place is so awesome, especially when it comes to just hanging out here and staring at the view. I don't really take many photos here. I'll take a few, but it's just a really cool spot to park up and look at the view, really. Halfway on the drone, there was a magpie that was trying to swoop. Bloody Australian birds, honestly. They just hate when you're around them. Fair enough, to be fair. I was flying in their space, but I think they were trying to swoop the drone out of the sky. I'm glad none of them touched it because they would have actually gotten hurt. I've noticed that there's a little frame here. Hang on, I can't do this backwards. This tree here is a perfect frame for the Harbour Bridge. Now, I also spotted this other photo with this house here, the light hitting the windows at the right place, and I don't know, the wooden balconies and the dark wood, it just makes the photo look really nice.
Okay, so that was Queen's Park, which is just gorgeous. Honestly, it's just gorgeous. My time just now was a little bit stressful, I'll be honest. I wish I could have stayed for a little bit longer. We're running out of time with the sun and I want to show you this next spot. I wasn't able to really, go around and take photos. I really wanted to go down and take photos of the secret beach because that area is so cool. I wanted to talk to you guys. I felt like I didn't really get to talk to you guys much.
So I have come back here because honestly, yesterday everything went wrong. And I didn't film it because I got a bit frustrated. Everything went wrong. Like, my drone app had to be updated, then it stopped working, so I had to reinstall it and everything. I was on a time crunch of like an hour. So it took me about 10-15 minutes to get everything sorted out, and by that time I just ran out of time. I couldn't really show you guys the beach down there, which I really wanted to. Now, to be fair, it's a good opportunity that next time in an upcoming video I will do the walk down there. So there is this staircase that goes all the way down the hill to the beach that's at the bottom there. It's called the Foreshore Walk, that hugs this entire coast. And there are multiple different beaches. There's my secret swimming hole that I've been to as well. So it's a really nice walk, so I think that's a separate video in itself. I was in a rush and I really wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about this place, because honestly it is very special. For the amount of times that I come here and who I bring as well. Right now I'm with my dad. We just spent the entire day going for a ride and we just stopped off here. I come here with my dad all the time. I came here one day and ever since I did, I fell in love with it. And as you can tell, like, the view is amazing. Basically have brought everyone that is special to me here at least once. I will continue sharing it to people who I deem, you know, very special, because it is a secret. Only the locals would really know about it, and only the locals are really here. Definitely subscribe, put the bell on, and then you'll be able to be notified when my next video does come out.
The next spot that we're going to, a very strategic spot when it came to the war, where we're going is one of the peninsulas entering into the harbour. And it's the true edge of Australia as well. It's just basically sheer cliff face. You can walk alongside the cliff and take photos, and there's a really nice vantage point for the entire harbour. So I'm very keen to show you guys that. Honestly, it's very popular. There's a lot of people that do come here to watch the sunset. That spot back there, it meant a lot to kind of my younger self. Every single time I wanted to just kind of escape away from like home, or even if I was just hanging out with friends, we were never ones to just kind of hang out at home. We went to these spots. We would drive for like an hour each night and just trying to explore. And it means a lot to me because I go there a lot to think, to reflect. It's my fun little spot to just show people when, you know, they don't really know much about Sydney, and, you know, I get to show them a cool place that only the locals get to see. So I'm happy that I was able to make it there. Right ahead of me is essentially the entrance to the harbour. That's the edge. This is the edge of Australia. See that little other peninsula? That's the Pacific Ocean to the left, right there. And that's where we're going to be going. I used to come here a lot as a kid as well. I used to go there for ice cream and lunch and just swim at the beach, because there's a beach up to the left here as well. Yeah, it means a lot. My parents really love the harbour and the water. It's the one thing that they love about Sydney as well. So we used to come here a lot. It is something I'm going to miss, to be honest. Bit of a secret. I can't disclose much right now, but there's something in the works, and I'm not gonna really be here for much longer. I guess I just spoiled that. But this is where I used to come for gelato and lunch. Down the park here, we would hang out, play with other kids. Now I don't play with other kids because that's just weird. So I just ride my motorbike and I go around and around and around. But it's been nice. I actually haven't been here for a very long time. So to be honest, when the camera's off as well, I'm also just gonna sit around and ponder life a little bit. Where do we go? Where do we go? We have to turn left. Alright, and we're here. This beach that we're coming up to right now is really nice, honestly. Sentimentally, I came here once on a lunch break, and my mate and I, Harbour, which you've seen in my videos before, went to this little cafe and we had lunch, and then we had to ride it back. We were in the city where we were before, so it's nice to be back here. It's a cool spot for the locals, really, just to swim in. I wanted to talk a little bit more about that beach. So at the very other side of that beach, you'll see rocks. Now, I used to hang out there a lot,
which was really cool because especially at night, and if you time it well, around this time of the year actually, you can see bioluminescent algae I have never seen before in my life except for that moment. And it was so cool. Every single time the waves crashed over the rocks, you could see the algae just like light up. Now, obviously I didn't have my camera. I don't know how to show you guys that, but it was such a cool experience and it just happened randomly while I was sitting there. I told you before, this was very important for the wall. Well, here's one of these cannons here. These cannons were pointed towards the water and essentially would protect us during the war if anyone was coming into the harbour. Now, luckily no one did. You can still see remnants of it over here and I'll take some photos around it. I saw this other really cool view here where you can see the beach. So just gonna casually walk up. And what I'm looking here really is just the little break in the trees kind of framing up the beach and the sunset and a bit of the city in the background. So with that photo right there, I was using the trees to frame the skyline because it's a lot more interesting than just the plain one. And then the photo before, I really liked the composition of having the cannon pointing towards the city skyline. For the most part, I'm just enjoying being back here. Like I said, there's a lot of memories here. There's a lot of times that I used to come here as a kid and also as a teenager, just looking out at the view. Like let's look at the view one more time. It is worth it. Decided to take a quick photo. I really liked the ferry that was coming through there because of the wake of the ferry. Behind it, it had this like long sweeping turn, which kind of turned into a leading line a little bit. Not intentional, obviously, but it's nice. You saw the subject and it makes for the skyline shot, which normally would be pretty boring because there's no foreground, there's no anything really. There's a subject to it, whereas compared to the tree, obviously it's framed a little bit better, so it makes for a more compelling image. But besides that, like I said, the view is just beautiful. I'm so glad to be back here. And I'm very excited to just kind of sit down and watch the sunset. Obviously we have some time before we get to the spot. I have also noticed that there are a lot of tourists here. Everyone I'm passing and everyone you're seeing in the background are all speaking different languages really. There's not a lot of locals around. It's not really a local spot anymore. It's a very touristy spot. That's why I'm kind of taking you guys here, but you got to see the local spot already. Now, unfortunately, not for long. Right now, it's a very touristy spot, which is all right because honestly, the view is perfect. This building, I think it's a Navy base. Yeah, they converted this peninsula essentially to have a base right there, mostly because of the historical significance of this part of the coast, but also because it's a good piece of land. But yeah, it's interesting, like you've got a walkway and like a bunch of beaches and such, and right next to it is like a base. Also, this is a nude beach. We will not go down there for obvious reasons, because A, don't want to get demonetized, and B, I don't have a summer body right now and we're not going to take my clothes off. So this loop essentially goes over the old battle installments, which you'll see remnants of, and then the famous lighthouse, which is here, which is still operational to obviously show that the coast is right there so ships don't, barge into it. What we're coming up to right now is an opening and we're about to see the view. And honestly, I think we timed this perfectly. The sun has just set behind the horizon, which means, and I can see it, the sky is perfect. It is actually perfect. The colors are vibrant. Oh, I'm very excited. Are you guys ready? In like 10 seconds, you're about to see this view. And I'm so excited to whip out my camera. I think the colors are perfect right now. There's a perfect silhouette. Look at this. This is awesome. There's a lot of people here as well, just taking photos and just looking at the sunset like how I do all the time, or how I'd come here as a teenager. I'll grab my my other lens in just a second. I mean, look, the photos here are kind of bland, like I was saying before. There's no foreground. There's nothing interesting about it. It's a sunset. It's a skyline. It's the harbour. One of the best harbours in the entire world. And just like that, as soon as the sun sets, everyone's gone. And it's quiet. It's very quiet. It's nice. The wind is nice. It's not too cold, it's not too hot. It is beautiful. So you can see here some of the battlements, especially right here. This building here, by the way, is the lighthouse keeper's house. It's where they live, or where they used to live, maybe. This is where a cannon would sit, and it'll just target out to the sea, basically. And that is the entrance. It's the entrance into Sydney, into Australia, essentially. Right now, we're walking on literally the edge of Australia. What you see in the distance over there, that's the edge. Like, there's no more Australia after that. It is just the Pacific Ocean for tens of thousands of kilometers till you hit Fiji, Hawaii, and eventually the States. It's crazy. Like, the cliff face of Australia makes it truly unique, to be honest with you. It's not something that you normally get to see. I mean, actually, I went to Portugal, and you can go to the most western point of Europe, and that definitely does tick the box here. Now, we're coming up to the lighthouse, right over there. I'm gonna use this shrubbery to frame it, actually. I kinda wanna go into this, but there's probably a snake in there. And what you see over here is a bunker that, again, would have been for spotters or for infantry, or also, you know, artillery as well. And they would just camp there and try and spot any ships that would come along here. Awesome. This has been a very cool afternoon, to be honest with you. I was very happy that I was able to get the drone out, show you some really cool spots. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe if you did. We'll be making more videos like this a little bit later in the future.